Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Is it really? Wow, I thought it was Wednesday for some reason. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Good morning to all of you. If you're here in the Discord or in the YouTube chat, go ahead and say what's up. Here this morning, we have Luna, Vibe Trade, Broken Butterfly, Amateur Genius, Scott Bro, Techneasy, Moises HD, Darren Currendula, Mike, Julius, Vadim, Fish, Ferrari, Phil, Future Trade Today, Cyrus, Retberg, Spastrick, Spiro, Bird, Hunk. Morning, Hunk. Pat, Raymond. Good morning, Vadim. How you doing, Gary? Hey, what's up? Jay Scott, KG, Dana, Andre, Silent on W Part 2, Sarah Lucas, Trader Page, good morning, Sunrise Drivers, Sale, Nick for a Tick, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. 29 Stumps, Galaxy Wolf, McNasty, SW8, good morning, Chris Sims, Sheps knew him. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Cabot. Does anybody have any trades on? I have not taken any trades this morning, still sitting at $0 in the profit. I will be on Top Step TV today at about an hour or so. Hour and 20 minutes. More Jim's S. If you want to help me out here, we are 22 subs away from hitting that elusive 20,000 subscriber mark, which came in less than a year, which is crazy. If you want to hit that subscribe button, it would help out the channel tremendously here. Really do appreciate it. But nobody has... Marco's long from 88. There you go. Anybody have any trades from deeper in the lows there? Anybody long from, like, I don't know, 870s, 880s? Curious about that. That was where we had a nice reversal there off the lows. I was sleeping like a baby during that time, so I'm curious if any of our friends that were either insomniacs or across the pond there caught anything out there at all. $0 in profits, 2.2K up, London session. Did D do the London session again? On, good morning, Tony. On Top Step TV's channel. Morning, Razel. G-Line says, hard for me to hold them too long. I scalp and get out. I want to hold for longer, but can't do it. Yes, you can. Put on a position and then close your platform. Simple as that. And you'll be holding for as long as your platform's closed. 19,090, where is that? Oh, right here now. 992. Gotcha. D did the London session. How did she do, Sapadilla? I'm assuming she did well because she's a rock star trader. Morning rocking, double OTJ. Want to go long right now at 56.15. Yeah, we are at the inflection point here in the S&Ps. Let's go ahead and look at the charts that we have here. We rejected at this inflection point right here and now on the NQ, and we basically reversed right on that channel there. So kind of doing the wiggle dance. Let's look at the S&Ps. S&Ps, same kind of deal. We had a fake failed breakout here, right up here. Had a failed breakout. Now we're going to be retesting that breakout here. But that right here is a failed breakout, and that is not a good sign if we're looking to be bullish on the market here, because we wanted to attain this, which is, if we go back, I mean, we got to go way back. We're talking about this was sort of the stomping grounds earlier that we rejected off of, and now we can't even make it up to that area because we are having this failed breakout here. So will that be retested? If it is retested and we find some strength there, it's a strong signal. But however, if we don't, and we continue to auction lower, I think the market will roll here. And we don't have much news today, but it's better than yesterday. We do actually have some news coming out today. So right at 8:30, we get the Philly Fed non-manufacturing activity. I might want to take a cheap short here. Just, let's see. I'm actually going to put that on right here now. Taking a short here. Simply because we are rejecting, but if we do negate that, then it'll be easy to get out of. But we are kind of rejecting up here. If we get through the EMAs to the low side here, this could be a very nice trade for us. You only trade what you see, price action, or you stick to certain setups with liquidity, of course. It's all a mix of the above. I'm looking at all of it. Let's see if we can hammer this down a little bit lower here, seeing how they're adding some liquidity to this here. Watching if we take out this 80 pull. Curious about this. Looking at how hard we're rejecting off these lows. This is sort of a double bottom area. Let's see. Kind of dangerous because if you look left, it's a strong resistance. Yep, I agree. But this is a cheaper trade for me. Just watching to see if we can even reclaim 85 here. That's going to be a little bit of a tell. I see some bids coming in. Just a few here. Watching if we are going to reject right at 85. Google's kind of holding the 50 EMA as well. S&P's, if we broke this 7 EMA to the downside, it could be tremendously violent. So we'll have to wait and see. But right now, serving as a double bottom there right at 80s, 980s. Let's see if we reject these 90s up top here, because then I can refresh the position much higher. So watching here up at these 90s. Right now, Tesla's pushing up a little bit. We have NVIDIA's that's holding. Where's my stop? 250, got it. Okay, so again, looking for a failure of the 7 EMA in the S&P, is a failure of the 50 in Google. And watching to see if we reject at these 90s, going to add to that position right there. I don't know why my order filled sound didn't come through. Hold on. Make sure we got sound still. Tomas says, would love to see 70 or even 60. Yeah, we're in the same boat, buddy. That was interesting. We sold right into that little pushback down, but they absorbed the pants off that thing. So again, I'm looking for a lack of absorption to the downside and sort of some defense coming in at 96 or so. It is very thin, mind you, but I will continue trying this. Watching here, back at these 90s, adding again. It's weird, my sound, you know what? It's like muted or something. That's what's going on. There we go. Get my sound off mute there. That's what was going on. Believe it or not, my sound was muted. There we go. And I want to try to add to this. I just got to get this part of my platform open here. Get this up and over. There we go. Wondering why I wasn't hearing my order filled sound. All right, let's see if we can break down these 90s. And again, retesting those 80s off the lows here. Even though we are seeing a little bit of bid support right below 90 here. Adding again. Again, we're testing the 7 to the downside. 7 EMA on the S&Ps. Break of that would be tremendously strong. And that's what we're looking for. I'm just watching around right at these 90s here. Auction is really testing to see whether or not we're going to take these 90s here. Still kind of shuffling around this advertised price. Could have a little bit of a consolidation, but we should have some algorithms turning on in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes here. So I'm watching to bury the hatchet underneath these 90s. That'd be a strong signal. But very, very thin here. So needs to have that push here and now if we're going to get it, since it is so thin in this area. Right now holding just around 90. So I want to see some defense showing up at 90s. A lot of offers showing up. That would give me significance that I'm looking for to continue to press on in this position here. See if we can break down into this 85 area. There's a big bid. Let's see if we take it out. They're kind of, yeah, they took that offer. So Let's see if we can push this down now, right below 85 here. So they're interested in taking those bids there. I'm going to get a little bit heavier into this. They're back again, this time 17 contracts. We are continuing to sell through. This will push through. Just want to see that confident push through, right through 85 off the lows there. Grab a Celsius, give me a second. Good stuff. Still no big offers up at 90, which is kind of telling. Hey, Market Stalker D in the building. What's up, Market Stalker D? All right, watch these 85s for a failure here. Adding right there. I want to see 85s tuck and roll. It's a big area for the rollover that I'm looking for here. Nice push down. Again, showing those big bids stepping in here. Watching 82. There we go. Nice push down. Who was that? Jonatus. Just buy it. Ribs is going higher. Just buy it. I'm glad I listened to you, buddy. You're on fire this morning, my friend. Big shout out to Jonatus Alcobia in the building here. Good call, buddy, on that long. You nailed it. You should start a YouTube channel, my friend. That's good stuff right there, my friend. Take that out. Stop at break even. Nah, man. Come on. I got a good idea. Next time, why don't you shut the up? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Good times. Anyway. All right, so nice ads up there. You can see that those were peppered in right there. Look at that. We're just shotgun blasting in those bad doggers. Can I bounce an idea off of you? I'm seeing delta divergence of the daily NQ plus rejection off lower prices. It seems it's going up today. Friday news congruent. What do you think? Well, it's very thin right now. Algorithms aren't turning on for another about 30 seconds. We're going to see some algorithms come online. Because of that, I'm actually going to move my stop right there. Yeah, I mean, I was walking through it on the, just if you want to see me walking through it, just rewind. Kind of walk through the entire thing there. The arrows represent selling orders. Yeah, purple sells, blues are buys. Yeah, it's reasonable reasoning, but price action on a thin market is going to dictate what's going on. Anybody else catch that short there? Are your stops automatic when you buy or sell? Yes, I'm using an ATM strategy in NinjaTrader. Caught it for $200. Love to see that. Very nice. Yeah, we were just looking for that nice little snap down to that break, watching that liquidity at 85. Nice, there you go. Got 400, nice 250. Got the short, then realized I switched devices and was in the dang practice account. It's okay. Better than nothing, right? 4K on my 50K yesterday, just looking for a base hit today. Wow. Give it up for Tori Wells. Nice job. 4K on a 50K XFA. That's beautiful. Did you catch a mix of longs and shorts, or was it all longs, all shorts? What were you doing yesterday, Tori, if you don't mind sharing? Have any recommendations on where to learn Bookmap? You got to just put in the hours. I have a webinar on Bookmap. We're going to be doing a webinar series with the Bookmap team soon. Can't tell you when, but soon. And that's pretty much it. You got to just put in the hours. You got to just put in the hours, my friend. It's not easy. It's not easy. 4K on a 50K is a base hit. Yeah, no, I wouldn't call that a base hit. I'd call that kind of a grand slam. That's really good. Only did 200 on my Express. I mean, only. Pattern Trader had 3-to-1 risk reward with a 42% win rate. There you go. Nice job. Screen time is an answer to a lot of learning and understanding in this space, 100%. You have to see patterns repeat. You have to see certain things happening. You have to understand price action or none of that. Honestly, there's a lot of people I know that do just fine without any of that. Promise you. There are plenty of folks out there who do just fine without any of that stuff. Rips, I got my second 150K XFA, blown the first one. Any advice on trading a new XFA? Trade in the micros. Don't trade minis. Pretty simple. And just trade in the micros and don't trade those minis because it'll be a little bit easy, a little bit harder. You want to make it easy on yourself. Trade in the micros, not the minis. Yeah, 4K I wouldn't really call a base hit. But if you made 4K on a 50K XFA, you are doing very well. I'd be looking for taking payouts on that bad boy. What are your trading hours on the NQ? My trading hours on the NQ are going to be usually 7, 8 o'clock in the morning until about 10 o'clock Eastern time. Rips, going through the webinars during my Clubhouse trial, the way you explain the concepts really resonates with me. Thank you. Awesome. Glad you're enjoying that. Yeah, if you ever sign up for, anybody out there, if you ever get the trial of Clubhouse, cool thing about that is that you get full access to all the webinars. So you can binge watch all of them during your 7-day trial, which is great. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. 5 micros too much. It's half a mini. So, I mean, it's better than 1 mini, in my opinion. Anything less than 1 mini is good. Even if you're trading 9 micros, it's still better than 1 mini. It's 90% of a mini. Where do I find the lineup schedule with you on Top Step? They send out an email if you're on their email list. And I'm going to be on today for Fast Markets. I'm going to be on Thursday for Power Hour. And then next week again, Tuesday. I'm on Tuesdays every single week. Tuesdays every single week. Out at 73. Nice. That's a good close right there. Very, very nice. Yeah, AMP is really good. AMP is probably one of my favorite brokers out there for futures. If you're going to trade futures with your own money, do it on AMP because they'll beat any prices out there, which is really nice. And micros allow you a lot of flexibility. That's why a lot of people enjoy using them. Currently down 1K on my XFA. Mine's been messed with the factor that I can make real money on it. It's normal. I mean, that happens with a lot of folks out there. And again, it's just one of those things where you just need time. You're psyching yourself out. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You just got to let the trades happen and trade what has been working for you, specifically on your combines. You want to keep your trading styles congruent from the combine to the XFA. That's honestly what you want to be doing there. Do you know why we can only trade 2 contracts on micros on Tradeovate? Just because they couldn't change the technology on their end. There's a lot to do on the back end, and they don't want to jam up trading for pausing everybody out for like a week or something like that. And so it's only available on TopStep X. If you want to do the micros to minis conversion, for instance, if you can trade 20, if you could trade 2 minis, you'll be able to trade 20 micros That's only available on TopStepX currently. I don't know if they have plans to get that changed on the other platforms, but I just know that they'd experience a tremendous bout of downtime, and that's why they haven't done it. So just passed this combine before the open. Let's go, Pat. Welcome back in there. I think that's the first one you passed since you came back in, right? Congrats. Big things popping. Love it. Heard a little rumor that banking resets might be coming out on TopStepX in the near future. Any comments on that? I thought they put out an email saying that banking resets is coming not just to TopStepX, but all platforms. So why are you short here? Because the market's rolling. And I'm trying to capture this break of the 7 EMA in the S&Ps, which just happened. I think it's August 1st. Thank you, KG Dana. There you go. All right, now we lock in our profits to here in case we get a bounce now. Anybody still in this short? Beautiful, beautiful trade to the downside. Trying to buy 100K combine. Do you have a discount code? It's pinned to the top of the chat there. I will also drop that link in chat 3 times because 2 times is too few, 4 is too many. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. Click that link, get you the best discount available. Nice, Gary. There you go. Hey, look at that. Bleeding on down. Dang, I really wish we would have listened to the guy who told me to close my trade and go long. That guy is just too good. On fire. He knew the market like the back of his hand. Good guy right there. What a killer. Last time I paid 79. This is showing 99. 79 for your first one. You get that extra 20% off, but this is the deepest discount available. I'm actually talking to the Top Step team today about getting a even more Fuego discount code. Good thing you left a runner, right? Yeah, exactly. Here, tell you what. And you're gone. We never have to see your nonsense ever again. I didn't actually say I didn't take the trade. Oh, no, it was all a big goof. And you're gone forever. Oh, look at that. Oh, man, we should have taken a long. You mean Hindsight Capital analysts here and you didn't take their advice? Coach Jay in the building. What's up, buddy? I tell you something, Rips, I'd use that code like there's no tomorrow. Of course, responsibly, but I'd use a special Rips code. I love that. We are coming down even more. I'm going to lock in more profits there, just trailing my stop down. On a 1 lot here, we're up $700. And I like to trail my stop much more aggressively. Why? Because we're coming to this point of inflection right here. See that? Pew, pew, pew. Want to lock in as much of that profit as I possibly can. Bring it down lower. There we go. Recovered my 300 loss, now broke even on the day. Let's go, Doomslayer. And there we go, stopped out. So, what does that put us up at here on the day? Sweet, $12,789. Go, Rips, go. Good stuff. Yeah, that was a beautiful rollover. No reclaim of the 90s. I had trouble fighting over 85. And there we go. That's probably going to be the only trade I take, but let's see what happens on this news. Should have gone long. I know. What am I doing? I should have gone long. What was I thinking? Had a level marked at the top of this move and logged in right out of the move was made. It's okay. It's just one trade. No big deal. Very nice. I was only here after the trade. Can you go over what made you go up there? Also, you should have got... So let's look at Bookmap. This will describe things a little bit better. So, you know, when our... Okay, let's start here. We talked about this. We had a failed breakout, right? we are already in the point of a failed breakout, which means that the auction broke out above here and we failed that breakout. So that's a very weak signal for the auction, right? We are going lower here. I'm happy to trail my stop where I did. We also have the fact that the S&Ps were at an inflection point of both the 7 and the 50 EMA. Let's just say right there was the 7, right there was the 50. I don't have them on this chart. It's on another chart on my other screen here, right? So failed breakouts are an extremely powerful pattern, right? And this failed breakout actually extends all the way to here. Do you see this? This is not a failed breakout. This is not a breakout. This is a failed breakout, right? We're getting multiple points above a certain area. That is what a failed breakout looks like. That is an extremely strong, weak signal for the market, if that makes sense, right? Extremely strong, weak signal. So what am I doing? When I see that, I'm not saying, oh, shoot, I missed the trade. No, I'm looking for inflection points in the market to go short. Now, this is the S&Ps, and that's what I'm using to guide my trade because the S&Ps have been driving the market. If we look at the NQ, we're going to see something similar. We don't have a failed breakout, but we have a failed auction up here. This is where the price action should be comfortable to trade on this price action here, right? So when we have the auction pushing up and up and up and up and up and squeezing, what happens when we put on the brakes here? It rejects. We pair that with the failed breakout in the S&P. Now we're looking for shorts. Okay, great. We're looking for shorts, and what do we see? Over here in our hourly high and low, this is your hourly high. This is your hourly low, obviously now, but this was your prior hourly low right there, okay? Now what happens? It opens up here, and obviously this is shifted now because we've made a new hourly low, but give me some rope here. The price action should be auctioning back up to this area here. Can we see that? Yeah. Should be auctioning back up to this area. That is a weak signal that we're having trouble getting over that. And what is above that right here? What is above that? Does anybody know? What is above this? Nice whole round number. It's 20,000 even. We aren't even entertaining the auction above that. Why? Because people are front running 20,000. People are front running 20,000. If they can't even bring the auction to 20,000, it means that buyers are so weak that we cannot even test 20,000 to see how much liquidity is there. That is a huge signal. That's where I took my first short when we're not breaking above. I would have liked to see a test of 20,000, but we didn't. And when the auction is rolling over like this, I'm in my first short. What's my add point here is what? What did I say? Retest of 95. Right? Retested 95, retested 95, retested 95. We're not auctioning above it. We're not even getting to 95. When that's on the table, that is showing me a lot of weakness. So I'm going to continue to add and add and add and add and add into that. I'm looking for a scalp on that big of a position because I don't have to wait for this bigger failure. I can let my extra contracts work for the bigger failure, but I can take my scalp off, guaranteeing me that I'm going to lock in profits right here on that push down. A violent push down can have a rejection, and I want to avoid that, right? Let's imagine that we had a violent push down and a rejection. I didn't take anything off, and then we retest 10, 20. We have a pop into 20, go into fives. Now we see cappers at fives. Now look at my position. I'm underwater. I'm stressed out. I'm probably down like 1,500 unrealized. Not a good position to be in. So what do I want to do? I want to realize probably 80 to 90% of my position on the strongest push down. If this was just like a push down like this coming down slowly, I'm not going to take off any contracts. On a violent push down, I'm expecting that we might have a retracement. So I need to take off those contracts on a violent push down. And that's exactly what I did. Violent push down. We're peeling off our contracts there. Then I'm leaving my runners potentially for a retest of 20, potentially for an add, potentially to go into that. By the way, Philly Fed, negative 19.1 versus a 2.9 prior. Very, very weak. So I'm looking for that push back up to re-add into the position. If we don't have that, we do what we did. We have a runner going and we let that runner work. And I'm aggressively trailing my stop, aggressively trailing my stop. That's what I'm looking to do. Does that make sense? I feel like I've talked through that trade ad infinitum here, but does that make sense? Cool. So that's what I'm looking for on that trade. It's a price action trade paired with confluences. The confluence is the fact that we have a failure of a failed breakout in the S&Ps. We have a failure of 20,000. We have a weak auction. We have nobody buying it because we can't even get through the defense up to 20,000. We are dealing with front runners and we can't even break the front runners. That's it. There you go. There's your breakdown. And now we're going to continue to roll here. This right here is coming down to this inflection point of 938. And you can see, I mean, we ticked this area right here. I mean, on the ticket. We've had that line there for a while because why? It's an inflection point. Inflection point in the market here and here. And, you know, you could say that it's dialed here. But look, we bounced there. We're rejecting here. We're using that as a blast off point. And now look, right here. We're back again, right there. Will it hold? That's the question. If it doesn't hold, then we're looking for the break all the way back down to 906, which makes a lot of sense. 100 points to the downside, not that big of a deal. And there you go. Are we doing the same thing now? Well, we're still having trouble finding buyers, but the more that we roll over, you have to understand like this. When you have positions like this, you're going to have people who are shorting this move. Get my book map back open over here. You're going to have people shorting this move. The longer that the short goes on, the more swelled up that short position is going to get. Now we're running into the VWAP of the S&Ps. Let me bring up the S&Ps here. We're running into the VWAP of the S&Ps. The more swelled up that short position goes, the more luggage that's on that flight. There's going to be people who are shorting that, and we have to look at extensions, right? Let's go back. Let's look at 15-minute here. Let's look at the extensions. Where could people be short from? Well, no brainer. People could be short from the failed breakout, but is there anything above that? Well, not recently, right? People could be short from here that they didn't cover down here. People could be short from coming up here and here and here, right? But you have to understand there's a lot of luggage on this flight right now. As we are coming down, people are hammering this short. Where else are people going to be short from? Well, let's look at the extension here, from here to there. So we have some liquidity that's above that, but they're probably likely to have covered in certain areas, covered back on this push back up. Those are all profitable trades. Now for longer term swing trades, this is not luggage that we're worried about. This is all from up here, prior days, you can see from up here. But how much of this is offsides and how much of this is current? Well, this is all swing activity because it's certainly not from the same session. So this is all swing activity, but is that a lot of luggage that's going to hold us back? Probably not. So if we're looking at what we're carrying here, it's only the liquidity from up here. And as we come down, that luggage is going to keep on adding and adding and adding. And it's going to get to the point where you're going to have some people who are going to cover early shorts. Now you have a lot of people that are going to be targeting this area, obviously, right down here where we had this bounce. If you have a lot of people that are going to be looking for this cover here, you're probably going to have people continuing to hammer this short. But as you get closer and closer to that target, people are going to begin front running that, and they're going to be front running it with big bids, and we're going to have to figure out how strong that is. We also had what I was talking about, was looking for the break of the 50 EMA on Google, which is at 181.79. So we were looking for this break as well, which was basically, something like that. Something along those lines there. We had that break. Again, this is something that we can have reclaimed because where are shorts in this? I mean, basically up here, above that level there. Shorts here, shorts there. I mean, again, it becomes very difficult as we get further and further away from that because we're adding more and more luggage to the flight, if that makes sense. Anyone know how to lock book maps? So the current price is only in the middle of the screen. There's a little arrow that pops up. Let me see if I can show you here. So like right here, you see that little arrow? You click that arrow right there. And then right here, you right click on this and it's going to say recenter. You right click on the price. And then right here, Luna, I'm posting that in the chat for you. Recenter auto trades, or you can do auto best book order or best book offer, whatever it is, BBL. Or last price if you want. Hey Rips, love to see you killing it. Looks like you are using NinjaTrader to send your orders, or you're trailing your stop manually with your mouse, or you have hotkeys. I do both. On that trade, I was originally trailing the stop with hotkeys, and then I put my hotkeys on my desk and I was moving it with my mouse. But the hotkeys I have can move my stop to break even instantly and then move it 50% of the current bar, and etc. Rips, just to make sure, so essentially you were looking for a potential inflection point sufficiently below the fake breakout in order to catch at least part of the short in the middle. Is that it? Correct. Amazing trade. Made 1635 on that trade. Had to take profit at VWAP, which we smashed into. Awesome trading, Rips. Nice, K. George. And that's the thing. Don't have hungry eyes when you're trading. K. George nailed it perfectly here. And even though it's slightly lower than the VWAP, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, we're slightly lower than the VWAP. It's good to take that, take that down. You made money on it. You take that off, and there you go. So what does front running mean? So let's say that the idea is that you want to be selling 20,000. Or that there's a mess of players that are going to be selling 20,000. You want to catch that short, and you want to do it with a passive limit order. Well, you would stack your orders. Let's say the auction's trading 93s. You'd be stacking your orders 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, thus front running the 20,000 liquidity. Does that make sense? Hey, Rips, I appreciate the explanation on your trade. I want to try Market Clubhouse. What are the monthly fees? It depends on which package you choose, but I would just check it out for those 7 days and see if it's a good fit for your trading first. Rips, nice new poster behind you. Been out for 2 months. These are all actual paintings. They're thick, about an inch thick. But yeah, I'm a collector of art. I have a bunch of different art. I have 3 pieces and some other stuff over there. I'm going to do an office tour pretty soon. Davey Edge, another 2, going to aim for 10 XFA by the end of the week. There you go, stacking it. Remember, you can stack up to as many XFAs as you want. If you have 5 active XFAs, the timer doesn't work. So, ever see the street artist from the Bay Area called Gats? I don't think so. I'll look him up. I do not think so. Let me see. No. Oh, wait. Isn't it GATS, not with a Z? Yeah, of course. I've seen his stuff. I don't have it. I don't know if he makes any pieces or anything, but yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. It's very cool. I like that kind of style. I like street art. Rips launders money through art, so he has a lot. Yeah, that's right. What do you mean you can stack as many XFAs as you want? Very simple. Extremely, extremely simple. So if you have 5 XFAs that are live, you can pass as many combines as you want, and you don't have to pay for those XFAs, right? You don't have to pay for those XFAs at all. You can just let them sit. And then if you blow an XFA, right? You blow 1 XFA, you have 4 active. You can rotate in one of your past combines off the bench into XFA land. Just pay the activation fee. Simple as that. I launder my money through Pokemon cards. There you go, Richard Harris. Very nice. Anything happening in oil today? We might have crude inventories. Let's see. Yeah, we have the API crude inventories at 4:30, so that'll be after top step allows you to trade. You still pay the monthly fee, though? No, incorrect. That is wrong. So once you pass a combine, you do not pay any monthly fee. It is just sitting there on the bench until you're ready to rotate it in. Do you need to pay the activation fee first or once you're trading it? Only when you're ready to trade it. You can leave it off to the side, never paying that activation fee, as long as you have 5 XFAs that are passed, 5 XFAs that are live. If you have anything less than 5 XFAs that are live, there's going to be a 30-day clock that ticks against you on all of your past combines. Yeah, exactly right. You didn't know that? Yeah. What time did you trade? The entire trade is on stream from the beginning. If you want to watch it, you can rewind the stream. Thought you only had 30 days to activate the past combines. Yes, that's true. But if you have 5 active XFAs, that timer is paused indefinitely. You can hold on to those combines on the bench for as long as you want. When you request a larger payout above a couple grand, how long does it normally take for it to get accepted? For me, less than 24 hours, 48 hours. 24 to 48 hours. I requested mine Friday, end of day. So how long would it max take for me? Is it your very first payout? Because your very first one sometimes can take a little bit longer. Davey, be nice. Be nice, Davey. Stop it. Don't get me started, please. Stop. Did I hear something about journaling being part of Tops of X now? Yes, it is going to be part of Tops of X. There's going to be I believe there's an add-on. We'll probably talk about it on Fast Markets today. It's my third, but my largest so far. I mean, that should be quick. The family Griffin got theirs in 6 hours. Yeah. Should be very, very fast. Hey, Rips, I love Tops Up, but I'm wondering, can I trade Tops Up and Apex at the same time on NinjaTrader? No, they're two separate connections. Unless you had one on Tradeovate and one on Rhythmic. You could do it that way. So if you have one on Tradeovate, one on Rhythmic, you could actually copy trade the whole kit and caboodle if you wanted to. The Celsius Strangler strikes again. Yeah, we did this one completely live on stream today. This wasn't one where I showed up and I said, hey, I took the trade with nobody here. Would you know what happened to Top Quiz? Why did they stop doing it? Because so many people were begging for resets. MP had enough. Straight up. That's the reason why. So many people were so annoying in Top Step chat. He just said, you know what? It. It's over. Are all your XFAs in NinjaTrader, or do you have some in Tops of X? I don't have any in Tops of X. I have the, 550K account still from that $4.50 promotion. And I think I've made $300. Those fire drill people are always crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, trading is not a thing to do if you're broke. I'm sorry, but we talked about this before. Trading is not a broke person's sport. It's just not. If you're broke, you should definitely not be trading. Ever. Like, ever. And if you think like trading is going to save your life, like, you're kidding yourself. It's crazy. They should just ban the word reset and fire drill. Yeah, like Market Stalker D says, it's you get Tradeovate on one and Rhythmic on the other, and you're fine. That's a very un-American comment. Which one? It's only $49 for a reset, so what's the big deal? I mean, that's, again, we've had this conversation. If $49 is a lot of money to you, you should seriously not be trading. You should be getting a job. You should be working, getting your money up, and then when $49 is a rip in the wind, that's when you can be trading. Life is not ready for you to start trading if $49 is a lot of money for you. Straight up. Trading has literally saved my life. I trade for a living now. There you go. People who won the quizzes were bogging down support, so they paused until supporters caught up. Okay, there you go. Learning how to manage my trades with you. Thank you. Tips. Awesome, Wesley. Get your money up and not your funny up. There you go. Point blank, if they worried more about trading and less about fire drills, they wouldn't need the reset. That's correct. We are bouncing back up here. We are now above the point of where we covered. So we were talking about this pretty much while we were coming down, saying that there's a lot of luggage on the flight. This is what it looks like when that luggage is unpacked. Does that make sense to everybody, or should I go over that again? We're talking about this on the way down. A lot of luggage. It's got to get unpacked at some point. You're going to have those shorts unload, and this is what that looks like. Gaps in liquidity like this are very significant. I'm on a 12-day win streak in my XFA rips. Can I get 13? Let's hope for it, Christopher. Nice work there. The more luggage, the further the push, and the stronger the reaction when closing. Amen. Yes, sir. That's correct, Dylan. These micros are so much easier on my noob soul. So nice to let it run for a bit and not getting so edgy. Thanks for your guidance. Awesome, D. Gotta love the luggage. Yep. Yes, indeed. If they were more focused on improving and learning daily, they wouldn't be begging for a reset. Get better. Yeah, and again, I mean, I love giving away free stuff, but it shouldn't be like what you're relying on. I've been getting some crazy DMs lately about people like begging me to pay for their activation fees and begging for, I need a combine, I need this. It's like, dude, don't be trading. Like, what are you thinking? Like, why are you trading? What are you doing? Crazy town. Like, makes me sick. Any way to do a lesson on how you use bookmaps? There's a like I said, there's a webinar that's available. Here's a link to all the webinars if any of this interests you. There you go. I mean, it's crazy. There's people, you know, no shade or anything. Everybody's at their own journey and everything. But I see people, there's people who like trade small caps and they like literally are posting like months, like after a month, they're up like $68. It's like, dude, and they're like trading all day, every single day. It's like, dude, like, you know, literally any job pays more than that. What are you doing? Crazy town. I get that you got to start somewhere, but like these are people that like gave up everything. It's just nuts. I like the quiz because I could get them correct. I was disappointed yesterday because I sat there for an hour listening to Andre when I realized they weren't doing. Is that like the supreme punishment? So now I just turned it off after the morning show. Gosh forbid someone got a job or extra job works for them or something. It's funny. The commissions getting in and out of small caps cost about that much. Yeah. Trade on top 7 Bullinox. Bullinox is a 50K promo for $17.50 until the end of the month. There you go. I only trade on Top Step currently. That's my thing. That's my jam. Big fan of it. Big fan of Top Step. You made 12K today. No, this is actually P&L from 13 weeks ago, Jason. I talked about that at the top of the stream. You must have missed it. Feel a lot less anxious without the potential or a surprise fire drill looming. Yeah, there you go. What happened to the webinar you mentioned with Bruce from Bookmap? I haven't done it yet. It's definitely going to come very soon. If you don't beg for promos and handouts, are you really even a real prop trader? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Top Step is probably one of the best prop firms out there right now, and they're doing it right. I agree. They've never done me wrong in any way, shape, or form. Always had a great experience with them. Never had any issues. 24 cents away from passing the first combine. Does Top Step let this middle miss slide, or do you have to scout for a quarter to pass? You got to scout for a quarter. It's got to be just over. I spoke with Mick and Brett in Chicago about fire drill and how it's the worst thing. Yeah, there you go. It's true. I mean, I like doing free giveaways, but it's crazy. It's wild. Am I coming on slow markets with Dakota anytime soon? Maybe. I'm doing fast markets today in about 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And power hour on Thursday. Getting free resets just made me trade more irresponsibly. Yep. That's sometimes what happens there. Morning to you, Wicked. Good to see you. Yeah, Dakota and I are going to be on together. So I don't know how much I'm going to trade. We'll see. I don't really like to spoil a good day. So we'll have to see. Nick for a tick says, I would love to do fast markets with Rips one show. That'd be fun. I would love to trade with you, Nick. You're a very, very extremely talented trader. I have nothing but the most respect for you. If you don't know already, Nick for a tick, he's on social media now. God bless him. It's a fun and wild place. But yeah, I'd love to trade. I would love to trade with you, do a fast markets or something. Talk to Danielle about that. Still learning how to trade breakouts for the match. Hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Today was a good one. Nick for a tick, super talented. I love seeing him when he's in the pocket. And that goes for anybody, but I mean, there's certain people you like to see operate, like Dakota when he's operating in the pocket, he's in the zone. It's awesome. It's so fun. It's great. Looks like NQ is going to see that 20K liquidity. It very well could. I mean, this is, again, we talked about this. This is the luggage being wound back up. This is all of those shorts. Because you have to, again, where are people going to be short from? And if you missed this, just go and rewind the video. We talked about this very, very specifically, extremely specifically about you have to be wary about the luggage that's being added to the flight. The more that we go down, the more luggage is being added, the more wild the unload is going to be of that luggage. And this is what we're seeing on this pop back up. It also, it helps when you anthropomorphize things and you add some color to it. So it's not just numbers and bars on a chart. It helps out a lot when you breathe some life into these things. At least for me, it helps out. How long did you trade futures before you got the hang of it? Well, trading in general, I didn't get profitable until about year 3. So it's not, if you think this is going to be like, oh, six months, I'm there, you know, it doesn't exist. I mean, I've seen people who think they have it in like 8 months and then never hear from them again in about a year, you know, like they just kind of vanish into the ether. Trading is, here's the thing about trading. You press a couple buttons and you're essentially saying it's going to go up or it's going to go down. At its core, it seems extremely simple. Extremely simple. But in reality, it's so much more complex than that. And then you add in our human emotion into everything. And now that starts to jam up everything. You get analysis paralysis, you get tilt, you get euphoria, you get depression, you get anger, you get frustration, you get happiness. All of these emotions start to wind you up. Even the positive emotions. Like I talk about this often, like euphoria is a killer. I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, there's so many days in the first 3 years of trading, I would have massive days. I'm talking massive days. And do you know how long it took me to give back those days? Like 2 sessions. 2 sessions, I'd give back that, like, best day of the month. Best day of the month, 2 sessions later, gone. Just gone. Why? Euphoria. People think euphoria is great because it gives you confidence. Guess what? Too much confidence is a bad thing. But you need to go through it and you need to like experience all of these emotions, all of these things yourself. I mean, I can sit here and tell you this is how it's going to be, but until you experience it yourself, you're not going to know what it feels like. Like I can't describe to you the pain that I felt on my biggest losing day. I haven't come close to that day and I don't think I ever will because I was really pushing it. And this was during COVID. So it was like, there were like, on my biggest losing day, I actually had a profitable trade that was like $200,000 in the profit. And it was still my biggest losing day. And this is COVID where it was just like insane. But you can't have somebody tell you, you can't read it in a book. You have to experience these things for yourself because you're your own unique person. You're going to go through that yourself. And you're going to experience that in your own way. That's going to teach you a lot of things where you're going to go back and say, that stove is really hot. I'm not going to touch that again. But you don't know how hot it is until you touch it. You're not going to know what pain feels like until you experience that pain for yourself. And I hope that the pain that you eventually get through is not as bad as what I experienced because it was really bad. But I hope that you do get to that part in your trading where you can learn your own emotional self and grow from that. And what it'll actually do is that the top thing that will do is it's going to teach you more about yourself. And then it's going to teach you how to be a better person in the rest of your life too. When did you become profitable? About 3 years in, Chris. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. No pain, no gain. Yeah, you have to go through it. There's no shortcuts to this game. And that's where it's like, if you actually want to be successful at trading, you're going to have to dedicate a large portion of your life to this. And if you're not interested in doing that, just stop right now and today. Like literally today. Today, like if you're sitting there and you're like, you know, this has been so frustrating. I've been doing this for a year and I'm still not profitable. Oh man, this is just so annoying. If that's your feeling on things, like literally just stop today. Straight up. Like this is going to be such a long journey for you because I enjoy this, right? I enjoy puzzle games. I enjoy mental games. Like I enjoy chess. I enjoy like chess. I used to play against a grandmaster for about 3 years straight and I would get my ass kicked. Like every single night. He owned a hookah lounge. I would go to his hookah lounge. We'd play from like 9 p.m. until 6 o'clock in the morning. And I would maybe win like 2 matches a month. And we'd be playing rapid. We'd be playing 5-5 or sometimes 3-3. And I would get my ass kicked like nonstop. But I loved it. I loved playing chess. And I learned a lot from playing against him. I learned a lot. But I would get my ass handed to me nonstop. But I enjoyed it. Right? And that's not because I'm a glutton for punishment, because I understood that this is like an experience that not many people get to have. And I'm going to really learn from this. But it wasn't about winning. It was about getting better and learning certain tactics. And he would talk about, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be doing this instead. You should be thinking about this. That was extremely unique and helpful to me. But I wasn't showing up and saying like, oh man, this sucks. I'm losing so much. No, I really enjoyed it. Trading is a lot the same, where it's like, if you're looking at your first few years of trading and you're saying, I can't believe I'm not winning yet, versus I'm focusing on getting better every single day. I'm focusing on getting better. You're going to have such a bad time. And I've seen people that I've mentored throughout the years where they come to me and I can just tell right out the gates. And there's certain people that I've told them straight out the gates, I said, you should just stop right now. And then they got frustrated and they're like, no, I'm going to keep doing this. And then they go and they trade their own live money. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? And then they go, oh, I lost 25 grand in like a week trading my own live money because those prop rules were too difficult. It's like, dude, what are you thinking? Right? So if you're not looking at trading as this extremely long journey, and you're not looking at trading as like, I really want to just get better and better every single day, and I'm going to get my teeth kicked in over and over and over, then trading is probably not for you. Straight up. Being profitable also isn't linear. It's not like you wake up one day and suddenly you're profitable. Exactly. D nailed it. You're going to have bad stretches where it's like you feel like this happens often. And I've had this conversation with Dakota, and I've said, dude, I don't think I can trade anymore. It's like, D, you feel me on this one, right? It was like, I don't think, because I know D is like insanely profitable, been doing this for years and years and years. But you wake up some days and you're like, I don't know if I can trade anymore, right? Like, I don't even think I can trade anymore. And then you finally catch your stride again, and you're like, okay, there it is again. I feel good. Bloody year with CL. Yeah, it's crazy. And the market, we don't have control over how the market moves. You really don't. You're not going to have any control over how the market moves ever, especially if you're trading futures. Maybe if you're trading a super thin small cap and you have a big trading bankroll to do, yeah, maybe you can move it around then. But in the reality of things, you're not going to be able to move the market around with a futures account, even if you're trading live money, because it's just you're going to be a little peon. It's just the reality of the situation, unless you're slanging like a $10 million account. Then you could actually affect the market, maybe during Globex only. So if you can't move the market, you have to wait for the market to shape up for you. And we go back to that surfing analogy. If you're a surfer, you're not going to the ocean and shouting at the waves when they're not breaking well for you because you think that you're going to have some effect on those waves. Doesn't exist. You have to wait for those waves to break just thusly, right? You got to wait for that perfect break. It's like with a lot of things in life. You got to wait. Got to be patient. Is there anything you are not good in, Ribs? Great in poker, chess, trading. I'm the worst snowboarder you'll ever meet, the worst golfer you'll ever meet. I know what I'm bad at. I just don't do those things. Probably a pretty terrible clarinet player. I've never tried it, but I have no interest in doing it. There's tons of things I'm terrible at. Terrible. I'm finally getting better, but not yet ready to try again with real money. Yikes. Why yikes? That's a great mental state to be in, where it's like, the people who get crushed are the people who think they have, they get overconfident. They have a few winning days strung together and they're like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get a mansion. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. I'm going to make so many millions of dollars. There's somebody that I was mentoring, that literally was sending me pictures of a Ferrari that they're going to buy. And this person literally couldn't even pass a combine. They're like, they had like 2 green days in their combine. They're like sending me pictures of Ferrari. Like, I'm going to get this Ferrari. This is going to be so awesome. It's like, dude, you can't even pass a combine. Like, what are you talking about? Like, are you serious right now? And those are the people that fail. Like, if that's your mindset, you have a couple good days in a combine, you still haven't passed the combine, you're thinking about what color your Lambo is going to be. Dude, what? What are you doing? Crazy town. It's true. That's a gambling mindset. Yeah. Start a hedge fund. There you go. Be like Kathy Wood. There you go. Man, John, who caught the bottom is still holding? Yeah, I'm curious about that. Anybody long from like 920 to 940? Did you get my nude pic in my Prius? No, I missed that one, Richard, and please don't send it again. Marcus Stalker, do you get cooler by the moment? Alto sax. Wait, did I miss that? Did I miss that you play? I'm great at alto sax, but bad at clarinet. The torture stick. The torture stick. Oh, that's funny. Hey, Ribs, what's the average salary for a successful futures trader? I don't know if there is one. Because I know some futures traders, they barely ever trade and they make a bundle. Like they make a bundle. They trade like 3 or 4 times a quarter and they make a bundle, but they leverage heavy. And they'll have like losing quarters and it's like multi-millions of losses. Long in my practice account, but still happy I was right. Nice there. That's good. Practice account is good for practice. That's why they call it a practice account. Don't ever be discouraged by that. I never understood the shade about that. Like if you're doing well in your practice account, that can carry over to your combines and eventually your XFAs and then potentially to a live account. There's no reason why there should be this stigma against trading in a practice account. I see it often here in this space where it's like, oh, I'm only doing this. Oh man, I was in my practice account. Well, I mean, that's one thing. Like if your practice account is like all over the place, like if your practice account is going like negative 28,000, you're friggin' resetting it or whatever the case. Yeah, there's an issue. But like if you're consistently hitting some dingers in your practice account, there's no shade in that. There's good stuff. Always up 3K in the practices, down in the combines. Maybe switch over to micros only and only trade in combines. And it should even itself out there. Dirty Guy says, I'm down $8 on my XFA. If I make 9 out of 4 green days in a row, this is a conundrum. I mean, nobody but you knows that record, right? So it doesn't really mean anything. It's just kind of all in your head. It doesn't really matter. Market has no idea about that. So if you're not feeling up to trading today, then just let it lie, you know? As long as you treat it like a real account, then is great. Agree with you, Brian, because, you know, it's one thing if you're like, oh man, I'm up 20,000 in my practice account, but then you're like completely ignoring the fact that the last 6 days you hit max loss, and then like you over leveraged and you got lucky on one trade. That's one thing. That's nonsense, right? That's not real trading in a practice account. That's just like, well, all right, I'm kind of on tilt right now. I'm just going to throw this in the practice account. And you're like, oh, dang, my practice account is fire right now. And then you're ignoring the last 9 days where you hit max loss on it, right? That doesn't make much sense. But if you're trading it like your real account and you're actually being profitable in it over and over, maybe stop trading the practice account and trade your combines. Any fire drilling tops? Woo-wee. Unironically, mind you. Would be nice if the practice account was 50K to better simulate the 50K combine. I mean, you could change that. You could just kind of set your profit and loss targets in Top Step X, I think. One more green day and we take my first payout. Let's go, JK. I'm rooting for you, buddy. I am rooting for you. I hope you kill it. That'd be awesome. Practice account down 1,000, add 10 contracts to get out. Even not realistic. Do that with real money and lose 10K in 5 minutes. Exactly. So if you're not treating your practice account like your combine or your XFAs, then there's really nothing to say about it. And if you're one of those people, you know who you are deep down. This is why, be real with yourself through journaling and all that. By the way, did we get enough likes for a poll? Let's see. Did we spearmint rhino this thing? 380 right now. If we get 120 more, we will run a poll here. One of my previous prop firm bosses said he'd love to not tell traders that they've been moved to live because people mess up their live after being amazing on sim. That's very interesting there. Wait, I can't be filled on 20 accounts, 15 lots, and a single clip in NQ. It's your birthday. No, it's not my birthday. Somebody posted, it was my friends who got me, they ordered me something when we were at the restaurant. You know how you do the thing where you're like, oh, hey, it's their birthday. Everybody's messaging me like, hey, this is your birthday. No, not my birthday. Stock eats up my futures profit. Should I move to futures trading only? Yeah, probably. What's the significance of why are you staying in stocks if they're not profitable for you? You're going to get the market experience from trading futures. When they bring you to live, they combine all your XFAs. Yeah, then you start building them up again. Well, they close your XFAs when you get moved to live, so you have to go back to the combine stage. Question, would an order block with high volume on the VRVP be a lower risk, higher probability trade? Yes. I've blown 2 XFAs about 1 to 2 days after Mick sends me an email saying doing well enough to be moved to live soon. Wish they stopped sending it out. Block his email. No, don't. Please don't. I wonder how many traders do well with multiple XFAs and get pulled to live and get dusted. I mean, they have a lot of data, right? TopStep is big on data. They have a large data set that can tell them whether or not that is a risk for somebody to get pulled up to live. How long can you withdraw from live account? What do you mean, how long? It's the same rules as XFA. 5 winning days of 200 or more, you can take a withdrawal. Is there a time limit to pay the $149 to pass from a combine or XFA? 30 days if you don't have anything active. I blew my first XFA after that email too. Mick does some black magic and smokes us every time he sends that email. What's the purpose of having multiple XFAs if they close them out when you go to live? More leverage. 5 times the leverage. They close them out, but they don't like zero out your profits. They give you the profit and you get the opportunity to get 50% of your account balance. So let's just say you're trading in 5 XFAs. You're up 100 G's. You can take 50 of that, move that to live, and 50 to your bank account. How do we get 5K in payouts? Do you got to withdraw 5K at one time or in total? It's in total. In total. I think we're close enough for a poll. Let's run a poll here. Will the NQ end the day above or below, let's say 19,000? Let's just do 20,000. Okay. Here we go, folks. Vote away. They're watching your trades. Email jinx me too. Yeah, it's crazy. I've heard that quite a bit actually now. And you folks are echoing the same sentiment there. Ribs, what TopStep do if you're not really active in live but very active in XFAs? You have 30 days. Every 30 days you have to make one trade in your live account. So that can be flipping a contract. But I mean, why not be active in your live, you know? I've been pretty active in my live. I've been trading it every single time I'm on TopStep TV and been pretty active in my live. Of course, they copy traders. That's props business model. Yes. How much can you withdraw on TopStep? Unlimited. Whatever you want. After 30 days, you can zero out your account and they will close it and they'll give you all the profits in it. Whatever you want. It's your world, baby. Weird how something like that can throw off your game. That's why so much of trading is mental. 100%. I'm 7 of 7 on them polls. We go higher. Let's see. Hi, Rips. I lack the last $10 for the challenge. You don't have a good entry. Thumbs up, man. Live account has the same rules as the XFA. Yes, except your orders are actually hitting the market. What's his profit split like on the live? It is the exact same as XFA. So after, it's 90-10, 90%, 10%. 10% for the prop, 90% for you. I'd just assume the call to live was a prank and go about my business. Well, they'll close your account, but they'll move that. I mean, it's very specific. The steps that you have to go through when you're going to live, very specific. Oh. After 30 days or $3,200 days? $3,200 days. 3,200 profitable days. All right, folks, let's get these votes in here. Right now, everybody's looking very bullish on this market. Look at the S&Ps. I mean, it came right down to that inflection point and did what? Nice reversal there. Why wouldn't TopStep cover data fees on a live account? Because you're a professional trader. Why would they? It's it's like $129 or $149 a month. What do you want them to do? You know, they should cover those fees and then just every 3 days just wire you out $50K just for funsies. Because why not? You're a special snowflake. Still like to see a sweep of that 810 swing low on NQ before another big leg up. I like that idea there. How many contracts did you trade to get that 12K? I believe 11 was our max size. Pretty sure it can go back and rewind there. But yeah, this is the trade right here. We're short, cover right there. Any opinion on Tesla earnings? I do not. I posted the levels in the morning memo. If you want those for free, they're going to be posted on Thinkorswim, Webull, E-Trade, Business Insider. They get out to everywhere. So if you want to see the morning memo there. Nice clean trade. Well done. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, I'm going to get ready for TopStep TV, folks. Let's go ahead and end the poll and see what you folks thought here. Let's go ahead and see. I hope you join me on TopStep TV. I'm going to be live there, trading live with my friend Dakota, with MP and Andre. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, Mr. Hogue is there too. It'll be a lot of fun. Alrighty, folks. Make sure you head over to TopStep TV. Looks like the above have it today, 59%. Let's see how that plays out here. Yep, Hogue is back. So here you go. Let's do a little rip trade over there. And on the way out, if you don't mind leaving a lucky like on the video, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you, Coach Jay. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you folks live on TopStep TV. Be good out there. Take care. Trade safe, and I'll see you